Hello, I am Mac, at least for a day, and everything is going to be okay. This is a Waking Titan 1.5 report. Things are really kicking off for the weekend, so I'm going to go over everything that's happened. Okay, Thursday, June 14th, 2018, the status command on wakingtitan.com changed to say uplink app update in progress, downloading additional components. And the command loop16, if you type that into wakingtitan.com, says testing simulation processes. And this all happened around 6:30 p.m. Central Time on Thursday. And then on the Myriad status page, it changed again. Before it had been like 40-something terabytes per second in Beijing, where is, and like 11 terabytes per second for the new other category. But now it says 32.2 terabytes per second for Beijing and 26.3 terabytes per second for other. So Emily is gaining more power. I forgot to mention in the last episode, we're pretty sure Emily Loop 16 is the other category on there. So she is gaining more of the network connection processing power from Myriad, and Beijing, the Where company, is losing connection speed. So, and Sophie Dubois had said earlier that Where had agreed to give more power to Emily, and a new Emily video was posted on Reddit by Emily, and I'm going to go ahead and read what Emily says. It's a really short video. It's only about 30 seconds. In that video, Emily says, "Emily, Protocol 16 now active. When the uplink app is launched, we will be connected to the Dreamers. Through this interface, you will be able to guide some of my interactions. Don't forget, your goal is to trigger a distinct emotion or memory that will help us identify the Dreamer memory block in the simulation mainframe." And I will put a link to that video in a pinned comment as usual, so you can see it yourself. And on that Reddit post where Emily had posted the video, she answered a lot of people's comments. So Emily is finally becoming what she used to be like in the first Waking Titan phase, in the very first phase when she was on eTark, which is now Atlas CSD forums. She used to talk all the time back when we thought she was a human on the forums, and then she disappeared, and we later found out that she was the artificial intelligence Loop 16. But now she's back, and even though we know that she's an AI, she's talking to people on Reddit, and we'll get to where else she's posting in a minute. But so that was it for Thursday. But then today, Friday, June 15th, at about 3:40 p.m. Central Time, status command on wakingtitan.com changed again to say additional components successfully downloaded. And Loop 16 command said working. And on the Myriad status web page, Beijing is now 12.2 terabytes per second, and other is 46.3 terabytes per second. So Emily is like taking almost all of the processing speed away from Where. She now has the vast majority of it, almost 50 terabytes per second, and they only have 12. So it's looking like she's either going to completely drain Where's capability, or I don't know. But I mean, if Where is responsible for Elizabeth Layton's death, Layton, someone corrected me, I was pronouncing Elizabeth's name right, Elizabeth Layton's yeah, if Elizabeth Layton was killed by Ware, then I am kind of happy that Emily is taking all the power away from Ware. And then the status command quickly changed again to say uplink guidance protocol initiated, and then it continued to change to attempting to connecting Dreamer 1 of 3 to the dashboard, and then status changed to Dreamer 1 of 3 connected, and then attempting to connect Dreamer 2 of 3 to the dashboard, and then connected Dreamer 2 of 3, and then the same thing with Dreamer 3 of 3, attempting to connect, and then it connected. So then all so 3 Dreamers, there's 12 Dreamers that we're trying to save, 12 people stuck in the simulation with the Ware dev kits, and Emily connected 3 of them to the Myriad dashboard SATCOM uplink thing. And let's see. So now we've got these people on there. So now if you go to the SATCOM uplink app, and I'll link that in the description again, and if you type help, then Emily will actually talk to you in a way. She'll start to talk with you, and you can select different answer choices to interact with her. She's basically giving you the instructions on what to do for this part of the ARG, but it's pretty cool that you get to talk to her through the app. And there's many different questions you can ask her about how to help the Dreamers and get information from them and input it into the dashboard and such. And then the app connects you to the SATCOM dashboard, or the Myriad dashboard, and from there I think you can click on the 3 different people that have been connected. Their names are Philip, Yoon Ha, it's some kind of Asian name, and then another one doesn't have a name, it's just #231187661T. And people have noted that that number is displayed in the No Man's Sky game. When you first start your game and you click on the Atlas orb next to your crashed ship, it will say that that number 231187661T has been emptied or deleted and then replaced by us, the player. So a lot of people are saying this is the traveler that was around before we start our game. Like, basically that traveler died, or was hopefully not died, hopefully removed from the simulation, and then we, the player, were placed into the simulation somehow, I guess. We don't really know how that works exactly, but so we've got these three travelers right now that we're working on freeing: Philip, Yoon Ha, and this number person. And the first person we were able to learn about was Philip. If you go to Philip on the dashboard and click to start the thing with him, it'll take you back to the uplink app, and then you'll have another conversation kind of thing where Emily interviews Philip, and Emily will ask you questions occasionally about how she should interrogate Philip, and so you give your input and you get different results from the conversation. And so I think people were able to figure out some information about Philip. I think it was 2018 1/13, so 2018 January 13th, which I think may have been when all of this, I think that was when Waking Titans started up again in January, but somehow the information we got from Philip led us to that date, which is a code that helps repair some of Philip's memory. We're basically learning everything we can about these people to input like answers to the puzzles into the Myriad dashboard, and then that reconstructs their memory, and then we will be able to free them from the simulation, be able to make them wake up. Emily explains this when you ask for help on the Uplink app. She explains that these dreamers are trapped in the simulation, their memory is fragmented, and we have to reassemble all of their memory or they can't be safely taken out of the simulation or they'll die. So anyway, so people were able to find out some things about Philip. The number person has not been able to be connected to Emily at all. She tried, but we haven't been able to interact with them. And they may be somebody who is hopelessly fragmented and we may not be able to save them. And that may be why that is the person on No Man's Sky. That is the number on No Man's Sky, because maybe that is us. Maybe that is a person that gets so trapped in the simulation they actually become part of the simulation. And so they become the traveler. They become this being spread across the multiverse that actually exists as many different people. Basically they're copies of the same human soul that are trapped in the No Man's Sky simulation. That's my theory anyway. So this person actually is the player, because the No Man's Sky lore talks about that all travelers are actually the soul of one human who's been copied over and over across all these different versions of the No Man's Sky universe. Maybe that's what's going on. So maybe we aren't going to be able to save this person, but we'll see. So we aren't able to connect with the number person at all. And then Yoon Ha, it's a woman, she is not hopelessly fragmented, but she was unwilling to interact with Emily. So instead of being able to do an interview with her like she did with Philip, we've got to look at some personal belongings that they seized near her body at the Sacramento laboratory. There is a bracelet that she had with her and a journal entry, which was probably in an Asian language that they translated for us. You can access both of those on the Myriad dashboard by typing in like Yoon Ha journal _ 1997 and Yoon Ha bracelet or something. Sorry, I don't remember what exactly you need to type in, but you should go to the No Man's Sky Reddit or the Atlas CSD website, because there's a lot of information on there that tells you what to do in order to do all of this. So, oh yeah, and then I'm going to go ahead and read Yoon Ha's journal for you, actually, so you don't have to go looking for that, actually. So, I have it all written here. So, Yoon Ha's journal says, translated documents from Yoon Ha's journal. I'm going to get out of this weather, because it's... Uh-oh. Where's my base? I have my heads-up display turned off for the video. I got to get out of the weather so I can read this journal entry. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn my hood on. There it is. I knew it was over there. Okay, so translated documents from Yoon Ha's journal. July 15th, 1997, at the park under the big willow tree. Dear Diary, the grass is a bit wet, but Mom put her journal on the ground so my clothes don't get soaked. I can't sleep but for the first time in ages, I feel safe. Mom is sleeping beside me. She looks peaceful, but she still has this line between her eyebrows. Let me get shelter here myself. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so... And then next she says, Mom woke me up in my bed a few hours ago, telling me to stay silent. She had packed our bags and we were leaving. I remember making the floor creak when I got up. My heart was beating so fast, but I heard him snoring, so I knew he didn't hear me. So she said, earlier she said, I feel, for the first time in ages, I feel safe. And so apparently they were sneaking away from her father or whoever her mother was married to. So most likely it's an abusive father that she and her mother are sneaking away from in the night. Then she says, we got outside and began to walk. We didn't take the car because he had the keys. I didn't care. I liked to walk, and Mom had a plan, so I trusted her. I will remember that night sky all my life. So large and full of stars, it made me feel free. We walked a long time. The plan is for us to take the train tomorrow to go live with an aunt of my mom's. I've never met her. She lives kind of far away. Mom told me that we didn't have a place to sleep tonight, but that we had each other. I agreed. My feet began to hurt, so we stopped in a park and decided to sleep under a giant willow tree. I took off the bracelet she made me and tied it to one of the branches to protect us during the night. The sun will rise soon, and I feel like tomorrow will be a long day, but for now I'm good. So this and the picture of the bracelet is the only clues we have about what passwords we need to reconstruct Yunha's memory. Some people have pointed out the willow tree, the mention of the willow tree, to try and figure out where she's from. We're pretty sure based on her name that she's Asian, and if it's a willow tree, then obviously we're looking for different Asian countries that have willow trees. And according to the internet, willow trees are only in the northern hemisphere, so it's an Asian country in the northern hemisphere, I guess. And it also mentions, well, it mentioned nobody has talked about this, but it mentioned that the night sky was full of stars. So I think that might help us pinpoint where she's from, because it probably isn't close to a big city. If you're close to a big city, then the lights of the city would make the stars dim, but if they can see the stars real well, then they must be in a somewhat rural area or a country that doesn't have a lot of big cities. I don't know. But it said they were going to take a train, so it's not like they're in the middle of nowhere. It's got, you know, some infrastructure. But anyway, and then the bracelet, she tied the bracelet on a branch to protect them in the night. So we're probably going to have to look for some kind of folklore or superstition about hanging a bracelet. Somebody said that it would be like a dream catcher, but I'm pretty sure dream catchers are a Native American tradition, so I don't think it's exactly a dream catcher. There's probably some kind of Asian tradition about hanging bracelets for protection or something. I don't know, but we're gonna have to figure that out. So that's it for Yunha. So hopefully that's what people are working on right now, is figuring out how to reconstruct Yunha's memories, find out what passwords we need based on her information. And then most recently, the status on wakingtitan.com changed again to say file decryption in progress 25%. So I guess since we solved some of Philip's information, this file is being decrypted. So how all of this is relevant to No Man's Sky, we've gotten one clue so far about, well, not one, we've actually gotten two things from the ARG that are clues to what we're getting. We got the hologram of the character model, the spacesuit, and more recently the hologram of the ringed planet. But the ringed planet is the only one that's on the new Myriad dashboard. So we've got this box in the upper left hand corner of different elements that we have to unlocked, and the first one has already been unlocked. It's the ringed planet hologram, but now there's 5 more blank spaces for other elements for us to unlock. So that is our main objective as ARG players, is to get the information about the No Man's Sky update. And I'm thinking that we're going to get one more of those elements this weekend when we solve these 3 travelers. So there's a total of 12 dreamers, actually. They're not called travelers right now, they're called dreamers. So there's 12 dreamers right now trapped in the simulation, and right now we're working on 3 of them that Emily has been able to connect with. So we're probably going to solve these 3 dreamers this week, and if we solve three dreamers every weekend, that means it's going to be a total of 4 weekends before we have all 12 people saved. So this week 3, next weekend 3, and so on. So this is what we're going to be doing for the next 4 weekends, counting this weekend. But if we unlock one element, one clue to the No Man's Sky update on each of those weekends, there's 5 remaining, like I said. That will unlock a total of 4, so there'll be one last element remaining. So I'm guessing once we free all of the 12 travelers, there's going to be some final challenge to unlock the final element, and then that will be the end of this Waking Titan ARG. So that's just my forecast, my prediction on how the rest of the ARG is going to go. So for the next 4 weekends, we're going to be learning about the 12 dreamers, getting them safely disconnected from where, and then there'll be a final challenge to get the final clue about the No Man's Sky update, and that'll be the end. So obviously it might go totally different than that, but that's what I'm predicting right now anyway. So that's about it for now. I'm gonna go back to finding out if I can help solve Yunha's information so we can get her freed. I don't think we've freed Philip yet, but we did solve some of his information. And the fact that it said file decryption in progress 25%, I think that file is the next element that will give us a clue about the No Man's Sky next update. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully we'll get 100% on that file soon, so we'll get a new clue about what's coming in the next update. I have been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a day. And remember, everything is going to be okay.